these are the people that had the tiny house. They were going to build a house and we kind of ran out of time there this year. Everyone was really booked up. There was a cement shortage and all kinds of things, so they're really up against it here. So I tried to explain to them what to do, and anyway, they're not builders, so I'm going to do my best to put them a little addition on this thing they can put a wood stove in. So they're going to spend a crap load of money on something that's temporary. You might as well make it a little more permanent. And I'm going to put skids under it. There's the first one that I cut. So I made a little upturn on it here. I'm going to drill a hole in the member here and on the other outside one, and they can hook a cable up to that and just sort of pick it up and put it on blocks or drag it away, because they are going to be moving this thing around, because pretty much they put it where the house is going to go. Anyway, so they'll have to move it in the spring and get their house going. I got all my notches made and got them all cleaned out so they fit a board. You make sure they all fit before you start putting this together. I mean, you don't want them tight, but you don't want them all sloppy in there either. So I've leveled it, put a straight edge along here. There you go, between the lines. Level is level. Don't ever ask a carpenter how level he wants something. If he's any good, he'll tell you level. All my levels look good. So now I'm going to square it. Try and bump it around a little bit here if I need to. Just going to measure from corner to corner. And then get the rest of the joists laid in. If you lay all your joists in and nail them and then you square it, you're kind of beat. You'll never get it square. And I have one more little row of brick to put in. So, put our little block in, and it's got to go down probably 3/8 of an inch. So take another little skim out. Don't ever take too much, because then your ground is soft under your block. And just sort of wiggle and jiggle it. Oh, that's so very close. There you go. That's all you need, and just give it a little with your boot. Now we'll be able to slide the frame back and forth if we need to adjust it. Okay, so all these boards have a crown in them. This one goes like that. So you want to put the crown up in every case. That way all your boards are shaped the same when you go to put your plywood on. Okay, so you just pop these in. Some of them need a little bit of a tap because I like to make them tight. Nail a couple and then square it again. I've got it all nailed together. All these joists are nailed in. Nice and tight. Everything's all square and level. I put in these furring strips just for the styrofoam to go against. Just a little bit of backing from underneath. Now I'm going to frame the walls. I'm going to prefab as much as I can. Then when I throw the plywood on the floor, I'll be able to get the roof on hopefully that day, or some kind of structure to hang a tarp on, because we don't want the plywood to get wet. Alright, so I'm going to throw this wall together. It's only like 6.5 feet high. We have to have enough slope for drainage. If you make it too flat, it'll all back up against the trailer and it'll leak all winter. You got to have some slope on it, so it's a bit of a challenge. Here we go. Got my wall all framed and squared. I've got to make a plate that goes over top the doorway up there, the full length. Got to put some legs under it. You know, one at the end, one in the middle, one at the other end, at least that many for now, just to get it up there in the air. And I'll get everything ready. I'll get all my rafters cut, get them all ready to go, and when I go to do the floor, I'll just have to put the foam in and then the plywood. I'll just have to nail the perimeter. All the rest of the nailing or screwing of the plywood can be done once the roof is on. Anyway, Mom's birthday today. Happy birthday, Mom. Gonna hit the Chinese food place on the way through town. Wow, it's been raining all day. I haven't videotaped anything till now, so what I did get accomplished was the tall wall. So I put a plate here which acts as a ridge beam. If you're building a roof, it's the very top piece there. It stiffens everything up. What I did was throw a wall underneath it, a 2x4 wall, and for now I'm just putting a couple of joists here and there. I need to make clearance for the doorway, so this one's a special. I'll see what I can do to get that doorway to open once the roof is on. I built that wall, so I squared it all. So I'm using this as my long short wall, the 78-inch one, that one over there. It's going to finish out at 78, so I put a mark at 78 on here. Just made a line underneath here and squared off of it at 1.25 inches. I'm using 1.25 inches here for a bird mouth. And the building is 10 feet wide exactly, so I put a mark at 10 feet over here, and everything is that side of that mark. If you put a straight edge here at 10 feet, it just falls over that board, and you make a mark, cut that off, and then this little bird mouth is going to ride over the top of the 2x4 wall. I left a pocket in the plate, so these ones are actually, the two outside ones are 1.5 inches longer than the rest of them. The rest of them are middles. These two first ones are outers. I'm just going to rest in that pocket. The idea being you want to nail in through here, different direction, overlap that, and keep all the crowns up. When you're building a roof or building anything, crowns up. So I got my rafters cut, the long wall made, the long short and the long tall one. I guess my next job, I'm going to move this off of here and start cutting styrofoam and get it all ready. And well, we're supposed to get more bad weather, snow. Tomorrow's snow apparently, so that's not good. Anyway, yeah, snow adds a whole other complication. Most of the day today it's been raining like there's snow tomorrow. Oh God, I think it's lunchtime. Alright, well, I'm going to drag these walls around here a little bit and get everything ready for foam. Well, it's 5:30 and getting cold and dark. I'm heading for home. I put the foam in. I know it was raining and now it's all wet and everything, but I think in the morning that'll be ice and I'll just sweep it all off. Looks good though. Foam's in there nice and tight. Should be a pretty warm floor. Yeah, so the plywood will come out to the edge. Right out to the edge here. And then the sheeting will come down to just below where that joist pocket is. Well, we got a bit of snow overnight. Probably just over an inch down here. I was hoping it wouldn't snow at all, but see, now I can just sweep all that off and it'll be dry. God, we had a bad snowstorm about an hour ago. I managed to keep things swept off so it didn't get too wet. What a wet day. Every pair of gloves I owned was wet. So I got all the rafters up. I'll get sheeting on that as soon as I can. Gotta do the gable walls here. Yeah, frame a doorway. Don't know where they want the window. I'll be able to say it's waterproof pretty soon. So I had my rafters up. They fit pretty good. Everything looks okay. So I did the little wall at the end, the gable wall. So I just framed it the same height as the other one and infilled it. That triangle part's going to be insulated. So normally that would be in your attic space, but we're not going to have a ceiling in here. They just want to insulate the 2x6s, 2x6 rafters. Come around this side. They have a door that's too tall to put in the short section here. So I'm going to put the door in here. They want a big wide door so they can bring firewood in. And we have to bring the tanks in. They want to put two 400-gallon water totes in here, which is going to be, I don't know, like 8,000 pounds or something. It's a lot of water. It's a lot of weight. So that's why we built the floor so heavy. Otherwise the weight of those water containers would just go right through the floor. So the walls, yeah, they're on 2-foot centers, but the floor is on 16-inch centers. So yeah, I just finished tying this wall in. I integrated everything in here between the double rafter. So it's good and sturdy even though it doesn't go all the way across. So I'm just going to frame a little header piece for the doorway. And that's pretty much it. I'm going to trim off the overhang. I'm going to go with the 16-inch overhang. When they move this away from the trailer next year and turn it into probably a workshop or a shed, we're going to put a proper overhang on either gable end and then put tin over everything. This year we're just trying to get it weatherproof and get them in here. So I'm at the tiny house people. They're the trailer house people now. They got it all sheeted in and the roof on. They just put I guess ice shield on there. They sheeted their trailer in. They did the skirting. They were going to just use some kind of a roll of stuff that they put on with Velcro with no real insulation value in it. So I talked them out of that, and they skirted it in, and they got quite a nice little pile of wood here now. Look at that, juicy. Yeah, so I know they won't burn all that this winter, but they'll have some for next year. So they got their propane set up. And their solar. So these people might survive the winter. So there you go. That's how to deal with a trailer. You have to have some kind of a alternate heat source and a place to be where you can sit near the stove. Those trailers are only 1.5 inches thick. The walls on that addition are 3.5 inches thick. So R14 versus maybe I don't know, 6, 8 maybe.
Not very much anyway. No vapor barrier in those things. Nothing. The wind just howls right through them. Anyway, I framed it for them when they were gone. It's pretty much the easiest way. Less questions and more work get done. And they finished it off themselves, and put the doorstep and did all the things they could to prepare for winter.